And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Tuesday, May 10th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. And here are some of the news stories from the day from the Associated Press and many other Native news sources. The Cherokee Nation will host an ethnobotany conference, Cherokee Plants and Cherokee People, on May 19th and 20th. The conference will include speaking presentations from traditional plant experts and a guided nature walk to help give hands-on plant identification experience to conference participants. The May 19th program will be held in Tahlequah from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the council chambers at the W.W. Keeler Cherokee Nation Complex. Presenters there will discuss plants traditionally used by Cherokees for food and medicine, those unique to the ancestral Cherokee homelands in the southeast, and the way they are tied to the Cherokee identity. Friday will feature a nature walk that affords participants a chance to see many of the culturally significant plant life in its natural habitat. The Cherokee Plants and Cherokee People Conference is free and open to the public, and you can get more information by calling Kathy at 918-453-5389. And today, May 10th, the water walkers from the north, way up in Hudson Bay, scooped up their bucket of salt water out of the bay and hit the road heading south for their reunion with the walkers from the west. The south and the east, those from the east just leaving this last weekend for convergence on June 13th on the Bad River Reservation of northern Wisconsin for one of the largest spiritual ceremonies for water and clean water rallies Indian country may ever have seen. You can find the full map of the routes and GPS when they're working. They've had a few problems keeping those going the last few days in remote areas at emptyglassforwater.ca/map. And for contacts along the route for feast, layovers, and walker supporters who want to join in, you can go to MotherEarthWaterWalk.com. Those four groups are all led by some very humble indigenous grandmothers now moving toward northern Wisconsin as we talk. Stop in on Friday, May 13th for the Northwest Coast and Maori Master Artist Party, singing and drumming at the Allen Hauser Sculpture Park in Santa Fe, New Mexico. They're going to be featuring Dempsey Bob, Steve Bevan, Christian White, Candace Weir, and Ranji Kipa. For more information, you can go to Greg and Angie Schaaf at indiansatnets.com. We'll put some of those URLs and information up for you to catch up on and inquire if you want. The 9th annual Drums Along the Hudson, a Native American festival, will take place on Sunday, May 22nd in Upper Manhattan's Inwood Hill Park from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Rain or shine. This event, which is free to the public and is presented by Lotus Music and Dance in collaboration with the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation. Drums Along the Hudson features Manhattan's only open-air powwow. This year's powwow will be led by the Thunderbird American Indian Dancers with host drums Haina Second Sons and Silver Cloud. A multicultural, family-oriented festival, Drums Along the Hudson includes an exhibition of world dance and drumming traditions as well as Native American crafts, children's activities, and international cuisines. Sandra Bookman, weekend anchor for WABC TV, will host the event. To learn more about the Drums Along the Hudson or to see a schedule of the performances for May 22nd, you can go to drumsalongthehudson.org. The Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe has named Todd R. Matha as the new Solicitor General. He was sworn into office on May 2nd as the Solicitor General. Matha will advise and represent the Mille Lacs Band on tribal, state, and federal legal matters. He will also lead the band's Department of Justice, which includes the Department of Public Safety and Tribal Police Department. Prior to his appointment with the Mille Lacs Band, Matha worked for the Ho-Chunk Nation in Wisconsin. He served on the tribe's trial court as an associate judge from 1999 through 2005 and a chief judge from 2005 through 2011. He will continue to serve as an associate justice for the Ho-Chunk Nation Supreme Court. Matha graduated from the University of Minnesota Law School in 1996, and he is a member of the Ho-Chunk Nation. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, or ATF, will hold a memorial ceremony on Wednesday, May 11, 2011, to honor the first Native American post-Prohibition era ATF investigator killed in the line of duty. The name of William Lewis Papin, a member of the Cherokee Nation who was killed 75 years ago, will be unveiled at the ATF headquarters memorial wall in Washington, D.C. ATF's unveiling ceremony is in conjunction with the National Police Week activities and will include a presentation of colors, a wreath-laying ceremony, taps, and a Native American blessing. Papin's 82-year-old son, who is 6 years old at the time of his father's passing, will attend along with other members of his family. Papin was killed on December 4th, 1935, as he conducted late-night beer license inspection at a Tulsa, Oklahoma nightclub. At the time of his death, he was weeks shy of his 41st birthday and just 4 months into his job as an investigator with the then Department of Treasury, Bureau of Internal Revenue, Alcohol Tax Unit. Connecticut's top education agency is encouraging local school districts to make sure their teaching methods and topics are engaging students of all cultures. The State Board of Education last week adopted a policy promoting culturally responsive education, which includes picking activities and books that resonate with students of various backgrounds. Education officials say many districts already embrace that philosophy, but that make it a part of Connecticut's formal education policy would encourage others as well. The state school board adopted the policy last week. Statewide, about 1 of every 3 Connecticut public school students is a non-white minority. About 17% are Hispanic and another 14% are black, with the rest coming from Asian, American Indian, and other ethnic groups. The mummified and tattooed head of a Maori is returning to New Zealand after spending 136 years in a Normandy museum, a belated gesture to restore dignity in the first of 16 such human heads once displayed as exotic curiosities in art. The Rione Museum tried once before in 2007 to return the head, but was stopped by the last minute by the culture minister. France considers human remains conserved in museums to be among its cultural or scientific patrimony. A symbolic handover ceremony went ahead in Royan in the year 2007, but on May 9th it was supposed to be the real thing, thanks to a law passed a year ago that allows Maori heads in France to be returned to their homelands. An elaborate ceremony which, with incantations, was due to be held at Ruan City Hall during the handover of the head to New Zealand diplomats. For years, New Zealand has sought the return of Maori heads kept in collections abroad, many of which were obtained by Westerners in exchange for weapons and other goods. And that's going to be the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you for joining in with us and come back again soon. Miigwech.